Could the New Jersey Devils be targeting Connor Hellebuyck as their big offseason acquisition? Should the New Jersey Devils be targeting Connor Hellebuyck as their big acquisition this offseason? And should I even be doing the final round of mock drafts, given that probably by the time this comes out, Sonny might have traded the 12th pick? We'll see.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm legitimately holding my breath every time I open Twitter nowadays after how yesterday went down across the National Hockey League. This is Locked On Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the world. Today's episode is brought to you by Odoo. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That is odoo.com/lockedon. My name is Zach Berman, and we got a busy show today. Like I said, final mock draft roundup. We will get to that right out of the gate, and then we can get into the Connor Hellebuyck stuff and who could be next on their way out of New Jersey after Simon Nemec, Max Siplikov, and Dennis Cholowski. That's what we will wrap up with today. Like I said, I wanted to get to the mock draft stuff first because there's a chance it could be completely irrelevant in a few hours. So might as well hit the ground before that changes. I have not been a fan of NHL.com's mockings for the Devils so far. They as in Mike Morale and Adam Kimmelman, both have the New Jersey Devils selecting Ethan Belchetz from the Windsor Spitfires, who I think is going to be probably not there because he is big and mean. He's 6'5", 230, and I think he's the kind of guy that teams will love to potentially reach for. I don't think he fits Sonny Meta's MO whatsoever. Feels like a Tom Fitzgerald guy. I still don't understand because these two writers have had Belchetz penciled in here the entire time, and I would not be a fan of that happening whatsoever. I think that's possibly the worst possible pick the Devils can make, especially because, hypothetically, in this scenario, Kimmelman has the Devils passing on Tynan Lawrence, who would immediately be scooped up by the New York Islanders the next pick. So, yeah, that would be a massive mistake if that's the way things go. Granted, these mock drafts, some of which are not updated. This one is, now that Buffalo has the 4th overall pick. I still think that is absolutely ridiculous that is how things have played out. The New York Times and Scott Wheeler of The Athletic have the New Jersey Devils taking exactly who I want them to take. Wyatt Cullen would be Scott Wheeler's pick at 12. I would be completely overjoyed. He says, multiple teams I have spoken with have had Cullen in their top 10, so he could be gone by this pick. But if he's here, I wager the Devils take him. If the Devils use the pick, I have said over and over again, he is my guy. I would love to have him. Got to remember now, the New Jersey Devils also have the 35th overall pick thanks to the Simon Nemec trade, and this is the first time I've seen that pick mocked with Ryder Helly, the center from North Bay in the OHL, not somebody I'm particularly familiar with. Remember, the Devils are going to have the pick of the litter just about in the second round. This is the 3rd pick of the second round? So anybody who falls out of the first for whatever reason, whether it be size, injury risk, the Devils could get a first-round caliber player with this pick once again, should they use it. Daily Faceoff has the New Jersey going Belchetz over Lawrence. I would be furious if that happens. Like, please do not pass on Tynan Lawrence for Ethan Belchetz. Like, I would lose my mind. Bleacher Report, oh my gosh, also has the Devils getting Belchetz. This would break my heart with Tynan Lawrence and Wyatt Cullen both going off the board in the 2 picks prior to St. Louis and Nashville, respectively. TSN, let's see what they have with New Jersey. They have passing on Wyatt Cullen to go Oscar Hemming. I don't hate Hemming on the same level that I hate the Ethan Belchetz pick. And this, they have Ottawa going Belchetz at 9 here. But I would not be a fan of that. Granted, that was before the Bowen Byram trade, which I still think is absolutely bananas that went down the way it did. Fan-sided. Let's see where fan-sided goes. Beautiful. Wyatt Cullen. That's the best possible pick if they keep it. I've said it over and over again. He's who I mocked in our Locked On draft. So naturally, I would pound the table. Is there anybody other than Wyatt Cullen maybe behind? Oliver Suvanto is a guy that I would be very interested in. Granted, he's only 17. Little bit reminiscent of Nico Hischier. He's been so lauded for his defensive play and his 200-foot game. He did only have 2 goals and 9 assists, but he was also playing in Finland's top league as a 17-year-old. So I'd be cool with that. The one guy that I've kind of kept my eye on here is Nikita Klepov, who is only 17, and he had 97 points in 67 games in the OHL. So I don't know what the level of competition necessarily is there, but if you're doing that in that kind of league as a 17-year-old rookie, I would be like, holy smokes. He's probably my second favorite choice here after Cullen. Now, I have said over and over again, my top choice in the draft, somewhat realistically, would have been Viggo Bjork. Now, with Buffalo now moving into the top 4, it seems increasingly likely that Buffalo is going to be eyeing Viggo Bjork for that pick. Granted, they already have a similar player in Consta Hellenius, so I don't know. Does Buffalo go defense? Do they not? I have said enough to the point where I'm blue in the face that if the pick is not Wyatt Cullen, I will be upset that the New Jersey Devils did not move off of 12 overall. If the pick is Wyatt Cullen, then keep the pick. I'm fine with it. Either way, what do you think? Drop in the comments. What do you think the odds are that the New Jersey Devils use this pick at 12th overall on draft night, which is about 24 or 30. I can't math right now. 48 hours from now, just a little bit over. Let me know what you think. Now, I have said more often than not, whenever I am driving somewhere, the New Jersey Devils tend to make moves, whether it be the firing of Tom Fitzgerald, the hiring of Sonny Maeda, trading of Simon Nemec. I'm driving from Tampa to Orlando. Not Orlando. I was driving from Tampa to Atlanta tomorrow. Dear God, that's going to be a long drive. That usually means something is going to happen. I am not sure. We'll see. But what could potentially be that something that happens? We shall see. And we'll talk about that on the other side of this break. Like I said, Connor Hellebuyck might be the guy there. And I'll talk about why I might be okay with it. And he also might not be my top choice. Anything else? Devils have announced their preseason schedule. Very odd this year. It is only Islanders and Rangers. 2 rookie games, one at the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House in Newark, another at the Northwell Health Ice Center in Long Island, or on Long Island, should I say. I know people will get up in arms for that. And then home and homes, respectively, with the Islanders and Rangers. So 2 games at the Rock, 1 game each at MSG and UBS Arena. No Philly this year, which is shocking because usually the Devils get the Flyers in the preseason at least once. But then again, it is preseason, so it's like I can't really focus on it too much other than, these games exist, and we'll see who looks good and who doesn't. Last year in the preseason, we got our first taste of Arsenij Griciuk, and he turned out to be pretty good. So you never know. On the other side of this break, let's talk Connor Hellebuyck next on Locked On Devils. Today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at Helly. And man, it is World Cup season for sure. And you can get in on all the action with Helly because it is the most electric time in soccer. You can trade every single match and the championship game. Tonight, the Tartan Army will take on Brazil, Brazil in Miami. And 76% of Helly users are riding with Brazil today. But hey, if you want to back the Scots, that just dropped down to 9% of all Helly users are going with Team Scotland tonight in what should be a fun matchup, both on the pitch and in the stands. So, yeah. On Helly, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position for a limited time. Download the Helly app and use code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI. Helly, trade on anything. Today's episode is also brought to you by the lovely folks over at Odoo. Do you believe this is finally... Oh, can we load? Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working towards the same goal, and that's true in sports just like it is in business. Think about the Simon Nemec trade. One thing that really stood out is how the Devils got everybody pulling in the same direction with the decision. It wasn't just one great player or coach. It was a coordinated effort across the entire organization that made it successful. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That is odoo.com/lockedon. This next segment is presented by the Everydayer Club. If you're looking for your daily Devils fix ad-free, start your 7-day free trial right now and get closer to the team without any interruptions. Click the link. It is in the show notes. So what could the Devils potentially have up their sleeves with all of this draft capital that they have acquired from the Simon Nemec trade? Given that now they have a first and a very high second this year and then 2 firsts the next 2 years, that's a lot of ammo to play with. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, Quinn Hughes. I've been hammering the table on Jason Robertson. Seems like he's going to cost up to $14 million a year if he gets the contract he so desires. And that's not even including some of the... He's going to cost a lot. Dallas is obviously looking to win now, so I don't know how that will necessarily factor in. Are they even looking for draft capital? Who knows? I've seen the Devils thrown around on everybody from Kirill Marchenko to not Dylan Larkin as of now. Maybe that could change. But the big name that has been thrown around, shout out Cam Robinson of Elite Prospects this morning. We asked several team side people what their spiciest prediction is this weekend, and one of them says Connor Hellebuyck is sent out east. I think New Jersey makes a big play here. Selfishly, as somebody that got a Hellebuyck jersey when Team USA won gold because I was worried that the Devils might lose Jack Hughes at the time, I'd be thrilled. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Connor Hellebuyck, of course, you already know what his deal is. 33 years old. He's entering year 3 of a 7-year contract that will run whoever right now, Winnipeg, $8.5 million annually, has a full no movement clause until 27-28, and then a 10-team no trade list that kicks in from the rest of the contract onward. So supposedly what I've been told is that the Devils are on his approved list. So this might be more of a Helly wanting to go to New Jersey and reuniting with his fellow Team USA gold medal game hero and Jack Hughes than perhaps the Devils wanting Helly. Oh boy, did we just get a Friedman notification. Interesting. Wow. I'll get back to that in a second. Granted, Connor Hellebuyck was not that good last year by Hellebuyck standards. Only had an .895 save percentage, allowed 2.86 goals per game in 57 games played. It was one of his worst seasons in a while, but a year before he won the Hart, had a .925 save percentage in 63 games played. Jets won the President's Trophy, went to the second round of the playoffs. I think Winnipeg's actually in a very tough spot because they have enough talent in the roster where they can't really tank. Think of the guys along the likes of Kyle Connor, who actually might be my top choice out of anybody in the NHL. If you could say, like, who could you realistically go after? I don't know if Kyle Connor's getting moved yet because Kevin Sheffield-Dayoff seems to be very adamant on keeping the Jets competitive. Mark Scheifele also would be a very fun target. Josh Morrissey, one of the best puck-moving defensemen in the NHL. Guys like Cole Perfetti, who's an RFA. You know, Winnipeg's in a really tough spot because they're good enough where they can't tank. They missed the playoffs last year, but they made the President's Trophy. They won the President's Trophy a year prior, but they're top-heavy enough depth-wise and in a division that is so loaded with teams such as Colorado and Minnesota and Dallas to the point where, what do? Do you blow it up? Do you keep it going? And now supposedly Connor Hellebuyck wants out. So it becomes a really precarious situation for the Jets. And then that brings into question, how much are they asking for Helly? Because if the New Jersey Devils perhaps want to use that ammo that they have on a goalie, it's going to require some surgery given that, well, Jacob Markstrom's making $6 million per year starting this year, which is not great at all. And granted, Hellebuyck would be a massive, massive improvement over Markstrom. Don't get that twisted at all. But you'd probably have to move another contract out in addition to already moving Siplikov's out yesterday. And could that loot? I love referring to, draft capital as loot. I feel like that's the Brian Cashman. That's the Brian Cashman school of verbiage there. Could that loot be better used somewhere else? Like a forward, for example. How about, I know I've poo-pooed him, Alex Tuch. Elliot Friedman just posted. Buffalo GM Jarmo Kekalainen said Alex Tuch will be missed. So the Sabres will be moving on from him. He then added that they will look at a sign and trade with multiple sources, including indicating Washington, who just got Jordan Kyrou yesterday as the favorite. Wow. The Caps getting Tuch and Kyrou would certainly make them a lot more formidable to deal with. But Tuch is not necessarily my favorite target here. So, I don't know. I keep on looking at Jared McCann as the ultimate happy medium, a guy who's not going to be too expensive, who will fill a lot of different needs for the Devils while also being the top six winger that New Jersey truly needs. He's not going to cost as much. An interesting name that came up this morning is Alex DeBrincat, who only has a year left on his contract. So how much is he going to truly cost? Another American that could be joining the fray. Very, very interesting. There are so many names at play here. Like, there isn't enough popcorn in the world to... it's going to be a movie, guys. Like, I hope it is. After yesterday, I mean, who knows? Truly, who knows? But I think Alex Tuch might get grossly overpaid, which I would... I don't think I would stay away from Tuch. He wouldn't be my top target. I wouldn't be disgusted if the Devils went after him, depending on the price, but We shall certainly see. But if the Devils want to make one of these big moves, they're going to have to get rid of some more dead weight on the roster. We already talked about Nemec and Siplikov leaving yesterday for Calgary. Dennis Cholowski is hitting the market, thank God. Who could be next in the chopping block? And let's talk about that on the other side of the break. Next on Locked On Devils. Today's episode is brought to you by our lovely friends over at Hims. ED is way more common than most guys think, and millions of men deal with it at some point. Hims offers a simple, convenient way to take care of your health by connecting you with licensed healthcare providers online, giving you access to personalized treatment options from the comfort of home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process designed to make getting care easier. Taking care of yourself shouldn't feel complicated, and Hims makes the process private and easy to navigate. It's healthcare built around your schedule and comfort. When something is already uncomfortable to talk about, the last thing you want is a complicated process. Having the ability to start online from home makes that first step much more manageable to take. And so many people put things off because they don't know where to start, because Hims makes it easier to start with a straightforward online process and discreet delivery, so getting care feels so much more comfortable. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/LockedOnNHL. That is hims.com/LockedOnNHL for your free online visit. hims.com/LockedOnNHL. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is the generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. Hims is not affiliated with or endorsed by Viatris. So who could the Devils potentially be cutting bait with? As it stands right now, after the Nemec and Siplikov trade, the New Jersey Devils have $13,152,000 in cap space, with a caveat that Nico Hischier is going to be extended and Arseny Griciuk is going to be extended. Your UFAs are Evgeny Dadonov, Zach McEwen. I would assume at least, and Dennis Cholowski. I would assume Dadonov and Cholowski are gone. McEwen I could see staying on a vet minimum. I actually really liked his game before he got hurt. Your RFAs remaining: Griciuk, who is reportedly being extended, and Paul Cotter, who I could see being dealt. He is only 26, does provide some value, but I don't really see him being a piece on this new version of the Devils. I've talked to the powers that be, and he is not exactly seen as a very smart player in the NHL. And I think we've seen a lot of that because outside the shootout, he hasn't really provided all that much. Who could we see being moved, though? Stefan Noesen is someone that comes to mind. He has a 17 modified no trade list this year. He is set to make $2.75 million. He's coming off a major injury, but there's still plenty of intangibles that may attract suitors for Stefan Noesen. I love Stefan Noesen. I think he is, when he is healthy, is definitely a guy worth keeping around. But at the same time, we don't know what he's going to look like on the other side of this big major operation that he had. So I'm a little bit hesitant. Another guy that maybe you'd want to get rid of is Nick Bjugstad. I think Nick Bjugstad is perfectly fine. And I don't think his cap hit is all that terrible per se. But as somebody that views Cody Glass as a 4C and not a 3C, I wonder if Bjugstad gets pushed out with only 1 year left on his contract to potentially make room for a third line center and to slot Cody Glass into that 4C role. Somebody like Brendan Dillon, who does have a 10-team no trade list, $4 million on the books this year, but I don't really see him getting moved just because I don't really see Dillon getting moved just because he's such a beloved figure in that locker room and really the voice of reason. I don't really see Dillon getting moved. I don't really see Brett Pesce getting moved either. So somebody else worth considering is perhaps Dougie Hamilton. $9 million per year. I don't know about that. even though reportedly the New Jersey Devils' new front office likes Dougie Hamilton quite a bit, they're still taking calls on him. But then that concerns me because you've already lost Nemec, who can move the puck. You're going to lose Dougie too. The guy that I would like to get rid of is Jonathan Kovacevic. The problem is he has a full no trade clause, and he cannot be traded without player approval, and is making $4 million a year until 2029, 2030. You're not moving Luke Hughes, and yeah, that's rough. Markstrom's got a 20-team no trade list. I think there's a chance he could be going. I know teams have been calling on him. Who are the non-negotiables? Well, the one more negotiable is Dawson Mercer. He's got 1 year left at $4 million. I think we've kind of seen the best that Mercer could potentially be, and I'm not really a fan of that if that's the case. So maybe there's plenty of value for a guy who plays basically every game, but is not really that consistent other than a couple hot streaks, and he loves scoring on the empty net, assuming the Devils are actually winning, which doesn't happen often enough. So something worth thinking about there. Can't move off of Timo. He's got a no movement clause, a full no movement clause. Bratt's got a full no movement clause. You're not moving off him. You're not moving off of Jack. No way. You're not moving off of Nico. No way. In fact, you're probably re-signing him. Hamanaho could be a very interesting trade chip, but also as a controllable asset who's only 21 and looks to be getting better. I doubt the Devils are going to be doing anything with him unless it's for a significant upgrade. So my guess is I think Noesen goes, I think Cotter goes, and I think one of the right-handed defensemen goes. Either Dylan or Kovacevic. That's my gut. I would like to see Kovacevic and Mercer both go, but I don't really think that's possible. That's just kind of my gut right now. Maybe Markstrom. Markstrom's another guy that I would love to get rid of. I think it's going to be very tough to get rid of him given, well, the contract and the way he played last year. But then again, I said the same about Simon Nemec. I was really worried that Simon Nemec would not be an attractive oh, boy. Remember what I said about Connor Hellebuyck? Apparently, Carolina's thrown their name into the ring there. Please, no. Please, no. Do not let Connor Hellebuyck go to Carolina. That would be an absolute disaster, and Carolina has so much cap space. No. Division's not going to get any easier, folks. That's the point I'm trying to make. So let's see what happens with Alex Tuch now apparently being dangled by Buffalo. If Hellebuyck goes, do the rest of the Jets go? Because then that could put someone like Kyle Connor in play. There's so many balls up in the air right now. It's just going to be very interesting to see what lands. So thank you for stopping by as always. And you know where to find me on socials. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. And if you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Devils ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. The link is in the show notes. And for those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. And on audio, make sure your second listen is NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL. Thank you for stopping by, guys. As always, let's go Devils, and we're all going to be refreshing Twitter and being completely on edge for the next 5 days or so, right? Hopefully this episode is not completely outdated by the time I release it. So God willing, that's the case. But if it is outdated, hopefully it means we got Jason Robertson.